Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Rising Sign Astrology. I am so glad that you're here today. And today we're going to be diving into the astrology of August 2025 and getting right into how this is going to affect you by zodiac sign. I really can't wait to get in and explore these transits for the month of August. And I would say enjoy it, right? Because this is the last real month of summer. Because by the time we approach the end of the month in September, we're going to be in the eclipse zone, right? With eclipses in Pisces and Virgo hitting mid-September, but also Saturn returning to Pisces for his last pass on September 1st. So definitely listen to my video, The Final Chapter Begins, which is a real deep analysis of how Saturn's last pass in Pisces, combined with, some elements of the eclipse hitting, are calling for one final reckoning within your respective Pisces houses. Now, I leverage Western whole sign house astrology, but I am also very fascinated by fixed stars as well as Vedic interpretations, so you may notice elements of those sprinkled in when they're relevant to the discussion. And in today's video, you can listen for your rising sun or moon sign, but I always suggest listening first based on your rising sign, as it shows how these transits will impact you on a physical level within the world. And then consider your sun sign for career or purpose, and ultimately your moon sign for how these shifts might affect you emotionally or at home. And if you enjoy the content and want to hear more, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell button so you're always alerted whenever I post a new video. And if you like what you hear, please give a thumbs up, drop a comment. It really does help a lot with the algorithm and let other astrology lovers know that this content is worth sharing with them. With that said, let's dive into the month of August. August 2025 for Leo rising. So for you, August is a month of personal growth and renewal, right? With your chart ruler moving from your sign into Virgo this month, you're going to transition from confidently expressing yourself to carefully building your resources, but also your financial security. And Mercury going direct in your first house, close to mid-month, is going to provide a lot more clarity and renewed confidence within your personal identity and your communication. And at the end of the month, Venus shifting into Leo is going to be great. It's really going to enhance your charm, how you handle yourself in the world, and just your social appeal, right? How people are attracted to you. And that's all coming at the end of the month. But overall, the month in its entirety is going to invite you to balance your assertiveness with diplomacy, right? You're going to need to carefully keep an eye on and manage your relationships this month, and also be ready to adapt as gracefully as possible to some of the unexpected changes coming your way. So the month begins on August 1st with Venus in Cancer squaring Saturn and Neptune in Aries. So everyone is going to experience this tension at the beginning of the month. And for you, it's linking your 12th house, right, Cancer, with your 9th house, Aries. So this is a tension between your private emotional world and your house of travel and beliefs, but also broader life perspectives and plans. So you might privately struggle with doubts regarding your educational path at this time, or your spiritual beliefs, or future ambitions. Or it could be, a tension between something unexpected coming up that disrupts a travel plan. Alternatively, it could be hidden anxieties or emotional baggage, right? 12th house surfacing and temporarily clouding, your optimism and just prompting necessary personal reflection. Now, 5 days later, Mars is going to enter your third house of Libra. So Mars is going to bring energy and drive, but potentially also conflict to your third house of communication, local activities, neighbors, siblings. So you might find yourself busier than usual, right? Assertively sharing ideas or just actively pursuing projects that involve writing, speaking, or communication in some way. Um, Alternatively, you know, be cautious because your communication style might be a little harsher or sharper than normal at this time, and it could lead to heated exchanges or misunderstandings, especially with colleagues or neighbors or siblings. Now, 2 days later, Mars in Libra is going to trine Uranus in Gemini. So, this is a more supportive aspect this time between your third house and 11th house. So, this is going to bring exciting opportunities through your social connections or through your group activities. You could spontaneously join a new community project at this time or a social group that sparks your creativity and just does a really good job of expanding your network in a positive way. This could also manifest as innovative collaborations at this time or really stimulating conversations with friends or groups that inspire you to confidently express your own unique ideas. Now, on the same day, Mars in Libra is going to go opposite to Saturn in Aries. So, this is a tougher aspect, right? Mars opposite Saturn highlights conflicts between your immediate environment and your long-term goals, right? You may encounter frustrating delays or restrictions at this time involving travel plans or legal matters or educational projects. Alternatively, disagreements about belief systems or viewpoints could arise, and it would require a lot of patience from you, as well as a balanced approach to making sure and avoiding that conflict doesn't escalate too far. Now, 1 day later, there's a full moon in your Aquarius 7th house. So this is now going to bring an illumination to something in your 7th house of partnerships, closest one-on-one relationships, whether it's marriage or business, and contracts. So there's going to be some clarity or significant developments within those closer connections. You might experience a very meaningful milestone at this time, or a culmination or resolution within a romantic relationship or a business partnership. Alternatively, unresolved relationship issues can surface at this time, but it would do so in order to prompt necessary conversations or decisions that would hopefully strengthen the bond. Now, on the same day, Mars in Libra is also going to go opposite Neptune in Aries. So this is another opposition between your third and ninth house, this time involving Neptune in Aries. So this transit is going to introduce some level of confusion or misunderstanding in your communications or your long-term plans or goals. I would be very cautious of misinformation at this time or unclear instructions as it relates to educational themes, travel, or legal matters. Take a day. And this could also manifest as your ideas or beliefs being misunderstood by others, and it would require clear and really careful expression and patient explanations in your communication to those individuals. But the very next day, on August 10th, Mars in Libra is going to trine Pluto in Aquarius. So this is a more empowering alignment between your third house of communication, siblings, and local environment, and your seventh house of committed one-on-one partners and relationships. And this should enhance your communication and relationship dynamics in some way. You could engage in a very transformative and powerful conversation with a partner. Again, that Pluto influence that would deepen your mutual understanding and also your bond. It could also be persuasive communication skills. Just make sure it doesn't bleed into manipulation that help you successfully negotiate an agreement or influence important decisions either in a personal or professional partnership or with a sibling. Now, on the very next day, you're going to have Mercury going direct in your first house. So Mercury moving direct in your sign is going to suddenly boost clarity in self-expression and your personal decisions and autonomy. Any recent confusion about your image, your identity, or any of your personal projects or beliefs are going to start to dissipate. You're going to feel like you can now confidently move forward with clear plans and communicate effectively and just make real solid and decisive progress on personal goals or projects at this time. And to further boost that, on the same day, Venus in Cancer is going to conjunct Jupiter. So this is happening in your 12th house. So this is going to bring hidden blessings or hidden, themes of healing occurring behind the scenes, or just emotional support from behind the scenes sources, right? You might receive some form of private support from someone who cares really deeply about your well-being, and would bring you a high level of emotional comfort. It could also manifest as engaging in some form of reflective activities. Think like a private retreat or meditation or, spirituality and that type of stuff that would offer some profound inner peace for you, as well as emotional nourishment in some capacity. Now, very shortly after that, Ceres is going to retrograde in Aries, your 9th house. So Ceres retrograding here is going to ask you to reassess how you nurture your beliefs or your educational goals or your spiritual practices. You might consider your current path in those areas and decide you need to adjust your approach in that area. Alternatively, exploring unresolved spiritual questions or philosophical ideas can foster a real deeper personal understanding, as well as emotional growth at this time. Now, 6 days later, on August 17th, Mercury in your first house of Leo is going to sextile Mars in your Libra third house. So this is a positive alignment, and it's going to enhance confident self-expression and communication for you, right? You're going to feel like you could communicate more effectively at this time. So you could successfully, pitch an idea, potentially a creative idea, or present a proposal that's received positively, or just you're able to speak really persuasively at this time. That would help you gain support from others in some way, especially those in your local environment, potentially siblings. From another perspective, you could decide to advocate for yourself, potentially assertively, right, Mars, or clearly state your personal boundaries that are going to ultimately help you advance your personal or professional objectives in some way. Now, 5 days later, on August 22nd, you're going to have the Sun entering your second house of Virgo. So this is important. This is your chart ruler entering your second house of income, finances, resources, and how you value yourself. So your attention now is shifting towards stabilizing and enhancing your financial security, right? You're going to feel very motivated to not only organize your finances, but also likely budget carefully and potentially even seek new income streams or new opportunities to expand your financial growth. Because later that day, there's going to be a new moon in that very same Virgo second house for you. So this indicates a fresh start around money or self-worth or income at this time. You could initiate that new financial plan or decide that you're going to start saving for a significant goal in the future, or just pursue a business opportunity that overall improves your financial stability. This could also manifest as just the start of a personal journey towards greater self-value and seeing yourself in a more positive light and having more self-confidence and ultimately it would encourage healthier boundaries around your resources. Now, 2 days later, the Sun, fresh in Virgo, is going to square Uranus in Gemini in your 11th house. So, on this day, August 24th, I would expect unexpected events involving friendships, group activities, right? Your 11th house that might disrupt your financial plans or security in your second house. You may suddenly need financial support from a friend or have to quickly adjust to unexpected expenses related to group events. Alternatively, innovative but risky, right? Uranus, ideas from groups or social circles could challenge your cautious financial approach, right? Virgo. And it would demand a lot of careful consideration, again, Virgo, but also like flexibility. Now, 1 day later, Venus is going to enter your first house of Leo. So this is phenomenal. This is going to significantly enhance your attractiveness, your charm, and just, you're going to feel more magnetic socially. Others are going to be more attracted to you. And you're likely going to feel very inspired to update your personal appearance at this time. And it would boost your confidence, as well as your personal appeal. Your relationships are also likely to benefit from this increased warmth and affection and positive, influence within your first house. So it'd be a really favorable time for getting out there and socializing and, even pursuing romance. Now, on the same day, Venus in Leo is going to trine Saturn in Aries. So this is now a stabilizing aspect supporting your personal growth and long-term goals. Again, first house, ninth house. So you might feel encouraged by supportive mentors at this time, or successfully engage in meaningful educational pursuits or even travel that enhance your personal identity in some way. This could also manifest as your relationships with authority figures or teachers, right? Saturn, ninth house, improving. And maybe improving significantly. And you'd feel like they're providing more reliable support for your aspirations and dreams for the future. Now, 1 day later, Venus in Leo, right, again, in your first house theme continuing, is going to sextile Uranus in Gemini in your 11th house. So this is unexpected, but probably positive and enjoyable social encounters that are going to bring new, fresh opportunities for you. You might just out of the blue, spontaneously meet some new, offbeat, intriguing individual, right? Uranus in the 11th, or join a social group that just aligns with your personal interests more. Alternatively, innovative ideas could come from friends or networks or within collaborative projects at this time that would inspire you to begin to express yourself more authentically, and in doing so, it would actually enhance your social reputation. People would feel like they're seeing the real you. And on the same day, August 26th, because this is a packed day, Venus and Leo is trining Neptune in Aries. So again, your ninth house. So creative energies are going to flow very effortlessly at this time between your personal identity and your broader aspirations. And you might find spiritual or philosophical pursuits at this time very fulfilling, and they help to enrich your self-understanding. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows, because on the same day, later, Venus in Leo is going to oppose Pluto in Aquarius. So while all of this positivity is happening between your first house and your 11th house of group friendships and dreams, and your ninth house of belief systems and travel and higher education, there's going to be this opposition between your first house and seventh house. So this tells me that relationship dynamics could intensify at this time. And with Pluto here, it would highlight issues around control or power, even manipulation with your closest partners. You might face some emotional confrontation or a passionate exchange within that partnership. And it would prompt really open and honest and truthful conversations about what adjustments are necessary in your relationship going forward. Alternatively, with Pluto in your seventh house, where it's going to be bringing deep transformation to your closest one-on-one relationships over the next couple of decades, it could prompt like deep transformation within a close relationship that challenges you to maintain your authenticity while still navigating and negotiating this emotional intensity and the boundaries within that close one-on-one partnership. Now, the month ends August 28th with a nice aspect, a little more supportive, with Uranus and Gemini sextiling Neptune and Aries. So this is between your 11th and 9th house. So this is now a supportive aspect that encourages more innovative thinking, right? Uranus, and spiritual exploration, Neptune, through those social connections in your 11th house. So you might join a community or a network that helps to inspire not only your personal but also your intellectual growth at this time. It could also easily manifest as a collaborative project or friendship involving educational or philosophical or cultural pursuits that fosters some inspiring breakthroughs and just a deeper understanding for you in terms of your worldview, 9th house. So that's the month of August for my Leos. It's a complicated month. It's going to ask you to embrace this personal renewal, right? And to have more prudence around your financial matters, and to really evaluate and look at your relationship dynamics. The sun transitioning from, this identity-focused first house to your practical Virgoan second house is going to guide you towards more financial clarity and stability, which is good. And Mercury moving forward is going to enhance not only your personal confidence, but also your communication style. So by remaining adaptable and managing your resources carefully and nurturing relationships by being thoughtful and having balance in mind, you're going to navigate the month more successfully. And you're going to emerge, at the end of August, entering September and eclipse season, more self-assured and more prepared for the future. So good luck this month, my Leos. I hope August is great for you. Please don't forget to like the video, and if you could drop a comment and let me know how this resonated for you or how the month of August is unfolding for you, that would be great. It certainly helps with the algorithm, and it tells other astrology lovers that my content is worth sharing with them. And if you're ever interested in a personal reading, whether it's just generally what's happening in your life or around your relationships or career focus, all of that information can be found below. So have a great August and good luck. Okay, well, thank you for sticking with me through the video today, as well as tuning in the first place. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch, and if you found this helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell button. It helps the channel grow, and it lets the algorithm know that this content is worth sharing with other astrology lovers like yourself. And as always, if you're ever interested in a private reading, I offer birth chart, career, relationship readings, as well as just, general readings about whatever it is you're looking to learn more about. So all the details for the booking are in the description box below. Thanks for being here. Have an amazing August, and I will see you in the next video.